What just happened on the field has completely flipped the conversation, and the reactions are nothing short of explosive. Closing the season with a commanding blowout victory has sent a message so loud that analysts can't stop dissecting every detail. The way this finale unfolded wasn't just about winning, it was about making a statement that could reshape expectations heading into the next chapter. Fans are fired up, insiders are debating what it all means, and the buzz surrounding this performance is only getting louder. Stay tuned, because we're diving into the strongest reactions, the boldest takes, and why this dominant finish might be the spark that changes everything. What a way to close out the season, Dodgers fans! The Los Angeles Dodgers have officially finished their regular season in jaw-dropping style, delivering a blowout win that has everyone talking. And yes, ESPN and the rest of the sports world are already reacting with full force. This wasn't just another game, it was a statement, a message to the entire league that the Dodgers are not only ready for October but also ready to remind everyone why they've been one of the most dominant franchises of the past decade. If you're a fan of the boys in blue, buckle up, because tonight's reaction is going to fire you up even more. And hey, before we dive deep into every detail, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe, because this is the channel where you'll always get the most exciting Dodgers coverage, right as it happens. Now, let's talk about this finale. The Dodgers didn't just win, they absolutely dominated. From the first pitch to the final out, this was a game where Los Angeles looked like a team on a mission. ESPN commentators were practically speechless at times, not just because of the scoreline but because of how sharp, how disciplined, and how relentless the Dodgers looked. It wasn't just the offense, though the bats were scorching hot. It wasn't just the pitching, though the rotation and bullpen both showed absolute command. It was the combination, the complete performance, that has everyone buzzing. When you close a season, you want to leave an impression, not just for your fans but for your rivals who are watching closely. And boy, did the Dodgers deliver. Think about it, closing games can often be a little sluggish. Teams are already locked into playoff spots, players are trying to avoid injuries, and sometimes you just coast. But not this Dodgers team. They came out swinging, literally and figuratively, with the kind of energy you'd expect in a playoff elimination game. That alone has sent shockwaves across MLB media. ESPN's post-game reaction really captured the mood. Analysts immediately began calling this not just a win, but a message. One of the panelists said, "If there was ever a game that screamed, 'Don't underestimate us in October,' this was it." Another added that the Dodgers lineup looked so deep and so dangerous that opposing managers will be losing sleep trying to figure out how to pitch around them. The Dodgers aren't just hot, they're terrifyingly balanced right now. And let's not forget the stars who shined brightest in this blowout. Mookie Betts was electric. Every at-bat seemed to carry weight, and his presence at the top of the order completely dictated the flow of the game. Freddie Freeman, as steady and reliable as ever, put on another clinic, reminding everyone why he's been the heartbeat of this offense. And then there's Shohei Ohtani, what more can we even say? The crowd erupted every time he stepped to the plate, and once again he showed flashes of why he's one of the most captivating players in the game. Imagine heading into October with those three setting the tone. That's not just dangerous, that's downright unfair to other teams. Pitching-wise, the Dodgers staff looked like they were already in postseason mode. Tyler Glasnow came out dealing, pounding the zone with velocity and movement that made hitters look completely overmatched. The bullpen followed suit, shutting things down and never giving the opposition a chance to breathe. ESPN pointed out that if the Dodgers can consistently get outings like this from their staff, then their only real competition might be themselves. But what really stood out tonight wasn't just the stats, it was the energy. The dugout was alive, the stadium was electric, and the players seemed to sense that they were putting on a show that mattered. Fans were standing, cheering, waving, and chanting long before the final inning. The Dodgers have given their supporters countless memorable moments, but closing out the season with a performance like this hits differently. It feels like the opening chapter to something much bigger, something that could define the months ahead. And of course, you know the narrative that's already building. Can the Dodgers finally turn regular season dominance into postseason glory? That's been the one question hanging over this franchise for years. No one doubts their ability to win games in April, May, or September. The criticism has always been October. And that's why this blowout feels so symbolic. It wasn't just a win, it was a warning. This team looks locked in. They're not just cruising into the playoffs, they're storming in, ready to silence the critics and add another championship banner to Dodger Stadium. ESPN wasn't holding back on that storyline either. One analyst flat out said, "This is not last year's Dodgers. This team looks different." And you can see why. The mix of veteran leadership and explosive young talent makes this group dangerous in a way that feels fresh. They've got the stars, they've got the depth, and they've got the hunger. And that hunger was written all over their faces during this game. Let's take a moment to talk about the young guys too, because they deserve credit. Players like James Outman and Gavin Lux showed why the future is just as bright as the present. Outman had some great at-bats, Lux played with fire, and the supporting cast made sure that this wasn't just a game about the superstars. That balance is what makes the Dodgers scary. You can't just pitch around one or two guys. Everyone in the lineup can hurt you. And don't underestimate the psychological impact of a win like this. Baseball is a mental game as much as a physical one. Opponents see the Dodgers close the season in such dominant fashion, and it plants a seed of doubt. It makes pitchers wonder how they're going to get through this lineup. It makes managers second-guess their strategies. And it makes fans, analysts, and even rivals admit that this team is peaking at the right time. From the very first inning, it was clear the Dodgers weren't messing around. They jumped out to an early lead, and instead of taking their foot off the gas, they pressed harder. By the middle innings, the game felt out of reach, and the Dodgers were still grinding, still working counts, still looking for more runs. That's the mark of a team that knows it can't just rely on talent. That's the mark of a team that's chasing something greater. And if we zoom out for a second, think about the bigger picture. 12 division titles in 13 years, countless 100-win seasons, superstar rosters year after year. This is a dynasty in everything but rings. The Dodgers have been the gold standard of consistency, and now they're hungry to cash it all in. ESPN made that point clear too. They said this franchise has built one of the strongest infrastructures in baseball, and that's why nights like this are possible. It's not just about the stars, it's about the culture, the front office, the player development system. Everything is connected, and everything is working toward one goal. As the final outs came in, the cameras panned across the dugout, and you could see the confidence. Not arrogance, not cockiness, confidence. These guys know they're good, and they know what's at stake. You could see smiles, high fives, and even a little bit of relief. The regular season is over, the grind is done, and now the real challenge begins. But what a way to finish it. The ESPN broadcast ended with one line that Dodgers fans are probably replaying in their heads right now. If this is how they're playing at the end of September, then October could belong to Los Angeles. And honestly, after watching this game, it's hard to argue. So here we are, Dodgers Nation. The season is closed, the playoffs are next, and your team just sent a message that the rest of the league can't ignore. Buckle up, because if this blowout was any indication, the road ahead is going to be one wild ride. Make sure you're subscribed, because we'll be covering every twist, every turn, every victory, and every challenge along the way. The Dodgers are locked in, and so are we. Now let's get ready for October baseball.